My name's Paul Chang.
My name is Ed Holder.
Hi, I'm Dan Leonard.
It's Jordan Minter here.
My name is Paul Pilato.
My name's Sean O'Connell, and I'm running to be London's next mayor.
Accommodation is crucial. Clean, safe accommodation, I understand that. So I would encourage more, but it has to be cooperation between private industry, the city zoning, and the Fanshawe governing body. So I want more housing, clean, safe housing. It's not going to be the grand mansion, but I think students just want something they can say, that's my space. Safe, clean, and reliable. This development fee is one of the biggest issues in London. The developers can make it cheaper, less expensive, but there's a lot of overhead. So who pays? It gets passed down. So the city has to say, all right, we want to make this better, less expensive, more affordable, so we can reduce the overhead, the basic cost, before you even start any project. So that can be done from the city.
Well, you're talking about the whole issue of safety, and I think that really is one of the critical issues. You know, and it ties into a number of issues around poverty, homelessness, drug addiction, mental health. And those are serious issues in the city and on the campus everywhere. And so one of the things that I think we have to do is put a real focus on the safety of citizens by dealing with those that are less able. You know, my Cape Breton mom used to say that a community is measured by how well we take care of people who are less able to take care of themselves. So what happens with drug addictions is they steal, they rob, they make people feel less safe. When I was a Western student, one of the things that we put a lot of emphasis on, and I was the president of the Arts Students Council, we put a lot of emphasis on student safety, and we worked with the USC and the Western Police to make sure that there were more patrols to protect our students, and we thought that was important. We were very mindful of the paths and trails around the campus, and I think students should feel totally safe when they walk their campus in the evenings and at night. I think some really positive things have happened both at Fanshawe and Western. More to do. But I think that emphasis on taking care of those who have these addictions and challenges. With my background as a member of parliament and my relationships with the current government, as you'll know with the recent election, although London went orange with the NDP, certainly we have a Conservative government there, and I have relationships there. I was a Conservative member of parliament. By the way, after my decision to run for mayor, I stepped away as a member of a political party because I think you need to represent everyone. But my relationships are there. And I think if we're going to get cooperation in terms of getting more support for students, then what you have to do is you have to have a great dialogue and be able to dialogue with the provincial parliament at Queen's Park. And I have the ability to do that with the connections I've got.
These are good questions. The London community has a problem with housing in general, and I can see how that also applies to students. The vacancy rate for London is very low in general, and in the northeast here for students we have a problem, I think, with absentee landlords, and the general London community probably is a little bit worried about off-campus parties. But to get more housing and good, safe housing is a problem. We have, how should we describe it diplomatically, substandard housing. So to use a kind of a mean word, quite a few slumlords. So that might be on the lower end, but it's neither safe nor secure. And this is where a lot of the low-income folk end up, and probably a good number of those are students. An idea now by the one councillor is to negotiate with these developers to set aside more housing for the lower end of the market, which would include students, especially here in the northeast end where the college is, and over by the university, generally in the north end. That would require more hardball tactics with these developers who generally, when they build, are for the higher end of the market. So we need to sit down and have some more frank discussions and really sit down at the table with these developers. If you want to do that, okay, then set aside a higher percentage for the lower end. And Jesse Helmer is the one that's been pushing that in the media lately, and I fully support that.
Safer and more secure student housing. Step up the foot patrol. That's paramount, I think. I went here in the 90s, and it was barely, 2 people that would walk every every couple of hours. You can step that up. Step up alarm, security measures inside the dorms. There's a lot of break and enters. There's a lot of creeps. From what I hear, looking in windows, I mean, an increased foot patrol presence and amped up security. I assume you guys have key cards to get in and out, but there should be locks and sensors on all the windows. Student housing has always been tricky, especially if you look on campus. Places like Western, for example, that have tons and tons and tons of money. I don't know why they don't build more sites for themselves. Fanshawe, you guys aren't broke. You've got some money too. There's got to be something we can do where students visiting that we want to encourage to stay here can get easily approved for loans for the housing. Wherever we're going to put it, it shouldn't be a matter of can we afford it, it's where are we going to put them.
Well, the biggest thing I see is safety and security across all of London, not just student housing, but throughout London. And what's happening is we have a homelessness problem, and we have drug addiction problems, and we have mental health problems, which are compromising the public safety of everybody in the community. And so I see it as two opportunities. One is an expansion of police resources to provide better market coverage and better protection of the overall streets. And the second area is around better education programs and interaction with students so that they better understand the rules of mutual respect, mutual engagement, and having fun, but doing so in a safe and responsible manner. So that's not just about around the school, but that's around the bar scenes and around the nightlife and entertainment scenes, so that students can enjoy a life-evolving experience, an enriched experience, without necessarily feeling compromised or unsafe. Prices are increasing because our inventories are low. So one of the things I'm committed to doing is expanding the amount of inventory so that we keep prices down. I'm also looking at expansion of subsidized housing and affordable housing by using various mechanisms to incent builders to create more affordable housing options for all Londoners, including students.